Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I would like to take a look at some upcoming rogue decks from the sets Black Bolt and White Flare. Now, before we get going, we have a couple of new cards to talk about, those being Emboar, Air Balloon, Tortuga, Jellicent EX, Meloetta EX, Zorog, and Ignition Energy. And to be honest, I think Jellicent and Air Balloon are probably going to be the most impactful cards on the game overall. But if you're just looking at things from like a more casual or rogue perspective, I guess, then like all of these cards will have decent uses, especially in the decks that we're going to be taking a look at here. So this first list that I want to take a look at here is an Emboar list. Now, I love and despise this deck because on the one hand, I love the fact that it's about Emboar. I love that Pokemon. I don't really need much more of an excuse, really. I just like the Pokemon so much, and I want it to have a good deck. But at the same time, I can't for the life of me understand why they're only running a single copy of Emboar. Like, it's just kind of asking for trouble. Like, what if you prize it? Then your deck can't, like, accelerate any energy whatsoever. So, honestly, I think, to be honest, for that instance, just that instance alone, I would definitely recommend swapping something out for a second Emboar. Like, I really don't think there's any reason not to run two copies. Like, maybe this player just couldn't get a hold of a second copy of Emboar or something, Maybe it was closer to release when they played this deck. But yeah, I would definitely try and make room for another copy. But yeah, Emboar with that ability allowing you to charge up any amount of RNG from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. So yeah, definitely good from a cargo as well as Darmanian. So it kind of like you get the good aspects of Zoroark, like you get the spread attack, but you also get the one hit kill aspect of the Ho-Oh box, I guess, with Macargo, which is cool. Then you also have Zekrom for like the mid to late game, and you even have Iron Hands to try and cheat some prizes. So yeah, quite nice overall, but if I was to try out this list myself on TC Live, I would definitely remove something like maybe an Earthen Vessel, for example, and make room for like a second copy of Emboar, because like it just seems way, way too risky as it is. But a very cool list overall though. Next up is we have a very annoying Jellicent deck. And one of the things I will say about Jellicent is that I usually wouldn't recommend Monkey Dory lists to new players. Because I think Monkey Dory, like, especially if you're running 3 or 4 copies of it, can be a bit daunting for new players to pick up. But I think this is honestly one of the exceptions. I think Jellicent will be quite a good deck for beginners, depending on if you can get the cards for it, of course. But yeah, Jellicent honestly is quite a nice attacker overall. Like Psychic Colors only doing 80, and you need like 4 more energy just to do 160. Like the attack is not great, but the ability, yeah, that's really annoying. So just turning off all items for your opponent. So yeah, they are going to have to gust around your Jellicent. I mean, even if you just go second and attack with Frillish, then you'll still trigger the item lock, which is hilarious. But yeah, overall, an extremely annoying deck to play against. And this deck is also running the Brute Bonnet Poison package with Mochi. So you can just add plus 40 damage, well, plus 50 if you want to include the Poison tick. So quite nice on that front. So your opponent will have to not only gust around Jellicent, but also like keep retreating their Pokemon. Otherwise, they'll get knocked out to things like Poison. So yeah, very annoying deck to play against. Also got the Clefairy here, just so you can want to kill things like Dragapult, potentially, which is nice. Also got the Monkey Dory to, of course, heal off Jellicent and just spread for an extra 3 damage counters, which is very nice. So a very solid rogue deck overall. I'm very much looking forward to trying this one out. I really like the Perilous Jungle Stadium, so anything with heavy poison, really, I enjoy playing. So yeah, poison, item lock, going to be very annoying to play against this on the ladder. Hopefully it's not too popular, but yeah, Jellicent EX, probably the new Espathra, I'm guessing, in terms of annoying decks. But yeah, very much looking forward to trying this one out. Next up, though, is we have a Greninja deck. Now, I think Greninja kind of goes full circle with this set because I think by this point, there's really not that many good spread attackers to really warrant Shaman in many decks. Like, the good spread attackers in Standard are what? Like, Grimmsnarl for the spread 30, Wellspring, Ogapon, Zoroark, and I think there might be one more. There might be one more, actually. Oh, yeah, Screamtail. Is it Screamtail or is it the balloon in God of War? I think it's Screamtail. It's one of the two anyway. But yeah, so like there is some good spread attackers, but I don't think there's enough to always warrant like a Shaman, and some decks just don't always have the space for Shaman either. So I think having Ignition Energy with Greninja and that chance to have the double barrage could still be pretty good in this day and age. Like you know, like if we can boss KO their Shaman if they run it and deal with it with Rotom and stuff like that, then yeah, no, actually Rotom can't KO Shaman. That's a bit sad. I was just thinking, oh, maybe you could just boss when you have Rotom in play, but no, you can't even do that because yeah, Shaman's got 8 HP. That's kind of sad actually. But yeah, overall, I think this is a super interesting list. Also, if you don't know what that Psyduck does, we don't have that card coming in the TCG, I don't think. Not yet, at least. It's probably like a couple of months off at the very least. For some reason, it's like one of these situations where Japan gets a gym promo before we like ever see the card for about 6 months. So like, yeah, we're probably not going to see that Psyduck for a long time. But all it does is actually just turn off abilities that would KO themselves, I think. So it like turns off Dusknoir, which is really cool. But yeah, sadly, we don't have that in standard just yet, and it might be a while again before we see it for our standard format, which is a shame. I would love that Psyduck. But yeah, so that's one card that you won't be able to run in this list. But maybe you can make room for like, I don't know, like a fourth copy of Hilda maybe, or a fourth Stadium. Third Red Candy actually wouldn't be bad. Or maybe even just a TM Evolution because, no way, there's two copies anyway, never mind. I'm just making stuff up at this point. Fourth Poffin, there we go. That's what you can add, a fourth Poffin, just to chain the Dunsparces out more efficiently. But yeah, I think Greninja's cool. I would definitely be up for giving Greninja a go in this set because I haven't actually tried it on TC Live before. So yeah, maybe this would be a good time to start. So yeah, looking forward to it in that sense. All right, next up is we've probably got one of the more anticipated decks from the set, which is why I'm a bit nervous about calling it a rogue deck. But truth be told, I still think it is a rogue deck. Like, donk decks are a bit silly in general because it relies on your opponent just having one Pokemon in play, really. Like, yeah, you can win beyond turn one, but it's definitely a bit of an uphill battle. So Meloetta, of course, doing 30 damage, and then next turn you do, 80 more, which is it's okay, I guess. Like, for donk-wise, it's pretty good, because, of course, it means we can use Brute Bonnet. So, Poison, Mochi, or the Moochie, the Mochi thing. So you're doing, 70 base, and then, 10 for Poison. Powerless Jungle maybe takes it up further. You've got Venture Bomb, potentially. Monkey Dory, although, Monkey Dory probably won't trigger until the next turn, because you're not playing Dark Energy Crispin, which is actually something you could do, right? You could run everything on that first turn and try and do Venture Bomb onto your own Monkey Dories, maybe, or something like that. That could be a bit weird, but yeah, just something to consider, I guess. And then if you really want to, Pekka is still there as a decent donk option, but quite a cool list overall. Squawkabilly is still really good in this deck because realistically, if you're going first, your opponent doesn't have a chance to actually play Rocket's Watchtower, so you can still Squawkabilly turn one going first, which is cool. So yeah, a very cool list overall. I do think this is going to be a lot of fun to play. I'm very curious to see just how good it will actually be, though, in the long run. Will it be any good or not? But yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go, actually. I'll definitely try and give this one a go. It seems pretty fun. But yeah, next up is we have an Amoongus deck. I love Amoongus. I love the mushrooms. But yeah, don't take that out of context. This one, for one colorless energy, does 30 damage, and then a lot more damage if your opponent's active is poisoned. That's really cool. We can just use Brute Bonnet. So, it's just easy. We're playing the double Amoongus, guys. It's really cool. Trust me, bro. But yeah, Amoongus can 1-hit KO Grimmsnarl with a Mochi, which is hilarious. So I'm guessing that. I guess that's the main appeal of Amoongus. But yeah, Grimmsnarl, Charizard, not much else. I guess some evolving Pokemon, like Raging Bolt. No, not Raging Bolt. Terrapagos, maybe? Ogapon, I guess? Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, okay, it's decent damage, and the poison's good. We've already established poison was good for this deck, so, poison should be good for this one, right? I don't think this one is as good as Meloetta, but at least beyond the first turn, you have more of a chance, I think, of staying in the game. So this one has, the poison donk options, plus a mid to late game with Amoongus. So we'll just have to see how good Amoongus actually is in the long run, which is cool. Next up, though, is we actually have a Dragapult deck. Now, I of course, would not say Dragapult is a rogue deck in of itself, but Dragapult Tortuga, however, could be a fun rogue deck. So running a 4/4 line of Tortuga, doing 30 damage for every item card in your opponent's discard pile. Really cool attack for just a single energy, so this list is also running Luminous, as well as basic water energy, which is cool. So very easy to attack with Tortuga. So you could, in theory, attack with 6 of them if you really wanted to, but there's actually no way to recover the fossil items, sadly. So yeah, we don't have a way to recover them. I'm assuming at some point in the near future we'll get a way to recover fossil items. Like, surely we'll get one eventually, but yeah, sadly not today. But yeah, Tortuga I think is a really solid attacker for Dragapult because you can just finish off things where you like he spreads 60 to something with the main attack, and then like Tortuga comes in and just finishes them off quite nice. Also got Eri or Eerie, whatever it is, to discard 2 items from your opponent's hand could be pretty good. Plus 60 damage, could be good. Also, this deck is running Town Store. I just want to bring this up real quick. Town Store and then 4 tool cards, but it's not running the Silver Bangle, which is interesting. The new I don't know if it's actually called Silver Bangle, but it's a new tool card which you can attach to non-Roblox Pokemon to let them do plus 30 damage, which like that could make the difference between Tortuga actually getting a KO or not. So that's maybe worth something considering. But yeah, it's a really interesting take on Dragapult. Like, I just think this is what the TCG should push more of, really. Like, just more interesting variants of pre-existing decks as well. But a super cool deck overall, I think. Yeah, Tortuga Dragapult, everyone. I'll definitely want to give this one a go, for sure. Next up is we've got Zacian Zoroark. Now, you may be wondering what is the synergy here, and the answer is there's none. There's just no synergy whatsoever. I guess you could argue like Monkey Dory needs a dark energy, so there's synergy there, I guess. But like Zoroark's main attack is for 3 colors, so like like you can't use Route on Zoroark, so I'm guessing you're just trying to use Zacian pokes to set up KOs with Zoroark, and then like Monkey Dory also does a bit of hoovering. You've also got like Cramorant in that mid-ish to late game, then Blood Moon to really finish them off. So like there's a lot of interesting fun options here. Is it going to be any good? I have no idea, but I'll probably try this out day one because I kind of like Hop Zacian a lot. I know like the Zacian deck ended up kind of underperforming in the TCG. It received a lot of hype going into Journey Together, and then the deck kind of just fell off a bit. But to be honest, I think the deck is still a lot of fun, especially in the more casual setting. So yeah, I'm very excited to try this out. It's just a shame that Zoroark's not really hitting anything major for weakness outside of Gardevoir. Like, you're not hitting Grimmsnarl or anything for weakness, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I suppose Gardevoir is still a pretty good weakness to hit. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this one, though. I'll be for sure giving this one a go. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about these rogue decks down below. Did any of them spark your interest? Will you be playing any of them? And yeah, thank you for watching.